Who else in the level car say yeah?
Look at that big, juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale.
Be offended.
Do you love black people?
Negro.
You know the thing.
Here, next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Shawn Cav.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt.
A man and a woman.
Yeah, so I have this clip here from Tayler Hansen, which this was in Tampa, Florida. It was outside of a high school, actually, where Turning Point USA, which are you familiar with Turning Point?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk, that big-headed.
Yeah, it's Charlie Kirk's foundation, where it's basically just kind of like a young Americans foundation almost too, or like a YAF thing, where it's essentially like a conservative a youth program, essentially. Yaff queen. So like it's one of those types of scenarios with the Turning Point, but outside of it was a bunch of Nazis protesting, and like yeah, we want to say Nazis like this because apparently the flags had brand new creases in them, like they were just brand new purchased flags.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Tayler says, and that which really rings true in my ears, is the fact that like they claim there was no Telegram group chat, there's no organization, they all just kind of showed up here together, which is literally impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. If you think about how rare it is to find an actual Nazi in the world, like today, like people like, you're a Nazi. No, you're just blaming people for liking Trump. That's not a Nazi. No, like if you know what a real fucking Nazi is, it's fucking rare. Even if you like, consider like Aryan Brotherhoods, and you go into like Ku Klux Klan, you go into like neo-Nazis, and you find all these little subsects of like what are considered like be like white power groups or white nationalist type like scenarios, and you were to take all of them and put them into a like circle together and like clump them up in like one town, like it would probably be like, you know, maybe like 100 people like in the entire country. So like to think like that is like the like what, as Joe Biden likes to put it, is white supremacy is the biggest threat to America. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like we're like, there's no such thing as a true white supremacist like group that's like overwhelming the US. Like, yeah, there might be white supremacists out there, but like they are so few far in between that anybody who like just tries to like say that that's the problem, like racists are the problem, like obviously you're just like you're fueling propaganda. Like that's really all it boils down to. So let me throw this clip up here, and like we'll get into this.
So we got some straight up feds out here at this event. I'm asking them, you know, trying to get them to take their masks off. They won't. They say it's because where they work. Their stories have contradicted each other over and over and over again. They don't even believe in what they're doing right now. These aren't real Nazis. Yeah, you might have a few real Nazis employed by the FBI here, but that's literally what's going on. We've seen this in Canada. We've seen this all around the country.
And what he's talking about is the fact that like this is like a psyop type scenario where like, feds can actually like just go. They did it exactly, you said, in Canada, where like in the 80s they put up Nazi posters in Canada to try and gather white supremacists and like neo-Nazis in Canada into like one location. So what did they end up doing? They created Nazis by putting up Nazi posters throughout, like I think it was Quebec or it was Montreal, I believe they did that. And like so like by putting up the posters, somebody who was like, hey, you know what, I kind of agree with what they have to say, now that guy is going to go and get entrapped into being a Nazi, you know, when he was maybe he wasn't going to be that guy, but now like they made him into that by showing that, hey, here are some people who might agree with your perspective, and now like they've put fuel on the fire, and then now all of a sudden now there's Nazis that exist.
It's one of those things where it's like, dude, like there's a difference between it's kind of like calling everyone racist or calling everyone sexist or homophobic or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, yes, point out racism. Yes, point out all these things. But when you call someone racist so many times, and when it's just frivolous and it's not actually equated in truth, like, or to truth, then all you're doing, like, because, just being white, I'm, half Hispanic, but I'm, white. So if someone, just because I'm a white guy, calls me a racist, I'm like, no, I'm not. But then what it does is it makes me think of like, why would I be? And then like thinking about the way I think and all this. And then I'm thinking like, but it doesn't make me racist because I think a certain thing. No, it doesn't. But I guess call me that. I guess I am if you call me that. And then it just breeds racism in people. It breeds the actual thing you're trying to keep away.
Well, I'll definitely share the one thing I have on Twitter later, where like somebody called me a racist scum. He called me a racist scum on Twitter, which I mean, like I did not give a shit because like there was nothing I said was even remotely racist at all.
It's just fun at that
But
point.
it was just like the guy like had to like dig at me, and the only thing he can come up with is the fact that I was bald and had a beard and an IPA in hand. So then he called me a racist scum, which okay. That makes zero sense, but good for you. Good for you for having, being able to formulate a full sentence which turned into an insult.
Hold on. I have a good one for that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, actually, I have those video drops which I have to upload on here, which I'm gonna put those on here so we can just click on them and
okay, cool. Because I got the sound effects over here on the little Roadcaster too. So
cool.
Just in case.
All right, we'll get back to Taylor.
Okay.
On January 6th, this is a common reoccurrence. These people show up, give bad optics. I mean, they're at a damn high school event right now. I asked them why they're here at a high school event, why they chose this, and if they're organized, they said, no, we're not organized, we just all showed up. So they just...
Impossible.
Yeah,
impossible. Everybody would just show up with their flags all waving with all their masks on and like, oh, well, I can't show my face because of my job or whatever that. Oh, but you're gonna show up here in Nazi like paraphernalia.
It doesn't
make
that's
zero
totally
sense.
Fine. That makes 0 sense. Period. Like I don't get any of that.
None of it makes any sense. This is why like it definitely feels like it's a Fed-ran type protest where it's just trying to make Turning Point look like they attract Nazis.
Did they come out of a U-Haul?
Well, this wasn't the Patriot Front people, but yeah, it's
just all showed up individually and decided that they're all going to be Nazis and wave Nazi flags outside of a high school event, allegedly without even communicating with each other, because that makes a lot of sense. They were able to just sync their minds and all come in here at the same time with no Telegram group chats, no group chats to organize, absolutely no organization, they said. But yet they're all here doing the exact same thing. One man said that his parents were murdered by a black man, and that's why he's out here. He's allegedly
spooky
18 years old, and his story just keeps contradicting itself. These people are lying. These people are here for bad optics, to give bad optics to Turning Point USA, so you can have left-wing journalists like Stephen Monticelli and Zachary Patrizio pick up these stories saying, hey, look at this Nazi holding a Ron DeSantis sign. That means Ron DeSantis is a Nazi and his base is Nazis.
This is exactly what's going to end up happening for the midterm.